I've been into a lot of theaters across the country, and I compare our theater with all the ones that I visit in New York City, as well as the theaters that are on the West Coast where I'm from. And our theater by far is probably one of the most beautiful, iconic gems that I've ever been to. You know, the goal is, or the ultimate compliment I would say for myself as well as the theater, is to have a producer who wants to come back to Utica. And my job is to sell the city. My job is to sell the theater, what we can do for each of the producers, especially from the technical phase, because when a producer is choosing a location to tech in, it's all about expense. I mean, that is number one, first and foremost, on top of every conversation, is how do we reduce the expenses? And Utica usually can deliver that, which is great. We have great hotels, great food, and most importantly, a great theater, and everything is in proximity of their hotels and the restaurants. So everything's within walking distance. Whereas in New York City, there's so much travel time. You know, they're on subways, they're always late for the breaks. Here in Utica, they're guaranteed. They're always nearby, and that's a huge asset for us.
I'm directing and choreographing the company of Spamalot. We are getting ready to go onto the road. We brought it here to Tech because it's got a really, actually the Stanley has a very good reputation in New York. People know the theater. It is so perfect for a national tour because you have space, because you don't have any limitations. You have everything that you need here. So a lot of shows are coming here to tech their show before they send it out on the tour.
The Broadway League especially goes out of their way to make your stay here the most comfortable it can be, because you're away from your home, you're away from your family, and they do everything possible within the legal limits to make your stay here incredible. Accommodations we're at, the restaurants around stay open late for you, because we work weird hours. You know, we're not out of here till 11:30 at night, and the restaurant Swifties next door, a couple of the bars around town stay open just for us. Part of the thing is, who would know this beautiful gem of a theater is up here in Utica, you know, unless you played here or you live around here, lucky enough to live around here.
Probably my favorite thing in Utica has been the Riggies, which is something that I had not heard of before, quite frankly, but I have had every single day, and I'm sure the costume department aren't happy with me because I need to make sure that I'm not expanding and I still fit into my costumes. But the Riggies has been really exciting. The wonderful restaurants that we found here, a really eclectic mix of food. We feel as though we've been welcomed into this community with open arms, which is really nice and wonderful to feel when you're away from home and you're on the road for so long.
This will be the third, I think maybe fourth time that I've come through here with a show. And yeah, to companies considering, you know, what venue to tech in or, you know, where they want to open their show, I mean, it's really hard to go wrong with this place. It's fabulous. You know, it's comfortable, it's beautiful, you know, it's a great first note. I'll put it that way. Tours can be very stressful, and we go all over the country, and you run into weather, and you run into some venues that are a little bit less. But when you start off in a place like this, it makes you very optimistic for the rest of the experience.
This city is so accommodating to whatever your needs are, no matter the weather, and so hospitable. When I was here previously with the Cinderella tour, there's actually a bad snowstorm, and the meteorologist at the local news station actually had her snowmobile out and took our Ella that was going on that night to the theater. The theater was packed, like everyone showed up no matter what the weather was like, because they were just really excited to see the show and really excited to support the arts. And it was really amazing because you don't necessarily expect that many people to be there in weather like that, but the turnout was great, and this is such a great town. It's so supportive.
The first time I was here, I was with Fame, the national tour. For that show, I was the assistant electrician. And then last year I was working on Love Never Dies, and I was actually a part of the local crew on that one. And then this year I'm back again with Spamalot. This theater, it definitely has a lot of workspace. You have all kinds of options. So like out here, you know, there's climate controlled, so you can kind of work on painting and everything and not worry about the cold like upstate New York falls tend to bring. And so, you know, you have all kinds of places to spread out. On stage, there's a lot of room in the wings and then upstage as well, so you can kind of build everything, and then if you need to work on any projects, you can kind of take them down and work in the wings still. There's also like plenty of dock space, you know, they can fit 2 trucks there as well, so it's, you know, there's plenty of room here, which is nice. You know, you can kind of breathe and everything when you're working on your shows. Thank you, Utica, and cheers to Broadway Theater League.
Jerry and Derek have done an outstanding job, and it means so much for our downtown, and it means so much for the pride of our city. It brings in shows, revenue. It brings in that feeling of, you know what, we've got something to talk about that so many other municipalities do not. It's a jewel. People look for it. It brings revenue into our city, and as the city is growing, I'm very happy that Derek and Jerry are doing a great job to make this jewel shine even brighter.
The possibilities are endless. There's so much we could do here. We have this incredible theater. There's so much local stuff that we could do. And it's, again, it's all about balance. And if we can get that right balance, we're all going to be more successful. And again, that just means more dollars in the community, and that's what we really want here. We are a not-for-profit business playing in a for-profit world. And that's a really tough line to balance. That's the art.